Hello, my name's Michael and I write music for video games. I recently decided to write some chiptune for the very first time, but I couldn't find a drum sound that suited the sound I was after, and I didn't fancy running bit crushes or all the software effects when I knew that the sound I wanted was one of my very favourite Christmas presents, the Stylophone Beatbox. I'm going to show you how I managed to get the crunchy sounds of the Stylophone Beatbox onto my software sampler. Now, most music tech savvy people wouldn't have a problem with this, but I hope that my first tutorial video helps someone out there get the sound that they're looking for. Now, if you're not familiar with the Stylophone Beatbox, it's basically a regular stylophone, but with drum samples on it and samples of UK beatbox champion MC Zanny. These are the kind of sounds that are on it. And it also has some bass guitar samples as well. So I'm going to be plugging a 3.5mm jack into the headphone socket of my Stylophone, and the other end is going into the audio interface on my computer. You can use the built-in line of your computer as well. I've already set up my sequencer to record the stereo source, and now I'm going to record each sound in sequence from 1 to 8 on each setting of the Stylophone. So that would be something like this. Start with number 1. An important thing to remember, of course, is to set your center tuning to center tuning before you begin recording, especially for the bass guitar sounds. More on that later. Once you finish recording, you should have a waveform on your screen which looks a little something like this. You'll then need to open up a new audio track with a stereo format, and using the marquee tool, which is holding down Command as you click in the default settings of Logic, highlight each individual sample and bring it down onto this new audio track. You'll want to be as precise as possible with where you cut your samples. You then need to rename and resave each of the individual samples. The easiest way I know how to do this is to right click and select Bounce in Place, name it something memorable and relevant, and the default settings here are fine, although if you have a workflow that suits yourself, then you can use your own settings. Select OK, and it'll bounce down and be resaved with a new file name. There's one last point here, which is to do with the bass samples. The center tuning on the Stylophone isn't going to be 100% perfect, so you might want to correct the intonation ever so slightly using an auto-tune software. I used a bundled version of Melodyne, or you can use Logic's own pitch correction software, which you can see here. You'll need to uncheck bypass effects plugins when you bounce this. The last thing to do is to import the Stylophone sounds into the sampler. I use battery for mine, but I'll show you how to do it in ESX24, which is Logic Sampler. If you open the sampler and click where it says Grand Piano and select No Instrument, and click the Edit button, which will open up this window. Locate the files in your sampler and ensure they are ordered by date modified, with the oldest first. Select the drum samples and drag them into that window which was opened. The standard settings should be fine. And there they are. Return to the ESX24 sampler window, click Options, Rename Instrument, and click Save. And your instrument is there. Select No Instrument again, and repeat the process for the bass sounds. If you have the samples ordered correctly in the Finder, they should automatically find the correct notes.
Thank you for watching my tutorial video. I've been writing a lot of music for other people recently, so I'll aim to get the chiptune to you by the summer. If you need music for your film or interactive media project, you can contact me through embo-music.co.uk. Thank you.